theme for this week has been arm strengthening and toning and stretching. So we're going to work intermittently throughout class with real strengthening exercises, postures, lots of planks, and then we'll just take stretches for the arms and the shoulders and the chest. So let's go ahead and start in child's pose. Bring the knees wide on your mat. Bring the big toes to touch. Extend the arms long. And in this first child's pose, get really active through the arms. So walk the fingertips a little bit further forward, press into the palms of the hands, and then work towards strong, straight arms. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Exhale, let it go through the mouth. One more inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, let it go. And then let's start inhaling and exhaling through the nose. A slight constriction to the back of the throat, making our breath audible, finding our ujjayi breath, our yoga breath. And then for these last 3 breaths here on our mat, go ahead and start to relax the arms. The elbows can slightly bend and the forearms can rest on the mat. Last breath, inhale. Fill all the way up into low belly. Let the belly fall between the legs. And exhale. Draw the belly button back toward the spine. Little constriction to the abdominal muscles. And then come up into a tabletop position. Align the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees, tops of the feet flat to the floor. Head is in line with the spine. Let's move through 3 rounds of cat-cow. So as we inhale, we release belly toward the floor, lift through the crown of the head, lift through the tailbone, and exhale, round. Lift and separate shoulder blades. Draw the tailbone down. Inhale. Now we broaden through the collarbones. And exhale, round through upper back. Last one, inhale, cow. Exhale, round to cat. And then come back into a neutral tabletop position. And moving into spinal balance, extend the right arm forward, left leg back, right bicep by the ear. Press back through the ball of the left foot. Left hip stays in line with the right hip. And then bend that left leg, take the right hand around, reach for the inside of the foot, press the foot into the hand, lift through the crown of the head, coming into swan. Extend back to spinal balance. Keep that left leg lifted, place the right hand on the floor. Shift forward with chaturanga arms, come down, just tap that forehead to the floor. Press all the way back up. And then bring that left leg to the left. Align the heel behind the toe and then tuck the right toes under. Press hip to heel, walk the hands forward. Nice inner thigh stretch on your left side, continuing to stretch through the shoulders as we press the armpits toward the floor. And then come all the way back up. And let's switch it out. So on the inhale, extend the left arm forward, right leg back. Bicep by the ear, reach from fingertips all the way back through the ball of the right foot. And then bend that right leg. Take the foot from the inside. Start to press the foot into the hand as we lift through the crown of the head, shining the heart forward. And then extend back to spinal balance. Keep the right leg lifted. Place the left hand on the floor. Shift forward, chaturanga arms. Just tap that forehead toward the floor. Press back up. Good, right leg to the right. Right heel behind right toe. Tuck left toes under and draw the left hip toward the left heel and then walk the hands forward like you're coming back into a child's pose. Come all the way back up. Tabletop position, we'll take 1 spinal twist. So on the inhale, lift the right arm high, look up toward the fingertips and then slide that right arm behind the left. Come onto right shoulder and right ear. Really active through the right hand. Keep the hips nice and high. Press into the grounded hand to deepen into the twist. And then inhale, unwind. Reach that right arm up, look toward the fingertips, and then release back to the mat. Switching sides, inhale, left arm up. Maybe take the gaze toward the fingertips and then slide that left hand behind the right, the left arm behind the right. Come on to left shoulder and left ear. Really active through the left hand, palm faces up. Press into the palm of the right hand, deepen into the twist. And then inhale, unwind, come all the way back up. Exhale, release tabletop position. Tuck both toes under, lift the hips high, come into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Start to pedal the feet, find movement here. You can lift and lower the heels, bend and straighten the knees. You can sway the hips side to side. Rock the head around in circles. Shake it yes and no. Just release all the tension from the neck. And just actively press into your fingertips. Ground down through the palms of your hands. Lift through the forearms. Then roll the biceps toward the ears, broadening through the upper back. Last breath here. And then look toward the hands and walk the feet to the front of the mat. Take the feet to hip distance apart, and then take the peace fingers around the big toes. Thumbs come to the tops of the toenails, and then start to draw the elbows off to the side, drawing the crown of the head down toward the floor. Don't have to get super deep yet since this is our first forward fold. You can even find a little bit of movement in the legs and the hips. Last breath. And then release the toes. Come up to a halfway lift, monkey pose. Bring the torso parallel to the floor. You can have hands on the floor, the shins are a block. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. And then forward fold. Go ahead and bend the legs, rest the torso on the thighs, and take the hands, interlace fingers at the back of the head. And then just squeeze the palms of the hands in to wrap around the head. And let the weight of the arms start to traction the spine, so creating a little more space in the neck and the upper back. And find some movement here. Head coming side to side. And then maybe taking the chin and drawing it toward the chest with the help of your hands, getting a really, really deep stretch. This will go all the way down towards your tailbone. That's intense. And then release. Release the hands, begin to straighten the legs, and then one more time, peace fingers around toes. And this time a little bit deeper, get a little more active in the arms. So use the strength of the arms to pull the crown of the head closer to the floor for one more breath. And release the toes. Heel toe the feet together. Little space between the heels. And then inhale, halfway lift. Pause here. Stretch the arms off to the side, palms face down. Tighten up through your legs so we're not overextending the hamstrings. A little spinal strength here. Take one more breath. And then rise all the way up to tall mountain. Reach the arms up overhead. Maybe take the gaze toward the fingertips. Spiral those pinky fingers in. Inhale, reach high, and then exhale, cactus the arms, pull the elbows down, lift through the chest. Inhale, come back to tall mountain. And then exhale, we're gonna take the gaze forward, take the left arm forward, right arm back. Now keep the hips square to the front of the mat. So we're just using the core to take that twist a little bit deeper. Really reach through the fingertips. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, right arm forward, left arm back, and then draw that left hip forward. So hips are squared. Just use your core. Reach through the fingertips. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, come down into a forward fold. Hinge at the hips, nice flat back. Inhale, come up to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. All right, plant the hands, step back to plank. This is going to be one of 2 long holds in plank. We're going to take a 30-second hold the first time. So really find your alignment. Press into your hands. Wrist creases are parallel with the front of the mat. Good, and then start to lift out of the shoulders. Press back through the heels. Draw the tailbone down. Pubic bone comes toward the face, so we shorten the front line of the body. Continue to breathe, use your Ujjayi breath. And keep the face nice and soft, even if we're feeling tension. This will help us keep our breath soft. Good. And then start to slowly lower to the floor. Elbows stay in, grazing the ribs. Take the tops of the feet flat to the floor. We're going to take a shoulder stretch, so bring the arms off to the side, come up onto the fingertips. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, left shoulder releases, look to the right. Inhale back to center. Right shoulder releases, look to the left. Just deep stretch in the front side of the shoulder here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, roll down nice and slow. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Elbows stay in. Inhale, come up to low lift cobra. Exhale, slowly release. Walk the hands back about an inch. Inhale, come up to a mid-lift cobra. Come up all the way past the belly button here. Exhale, lower down. And then back another inch. High cobra, come all the way up to straight arms. Keep the hips on the floor. Reach through the crown of the head, lower shoulders away from the ears. And then very slowly roll back down onto the mat. Elbows stay in. Use your arm strength to make that descent nice and slow. Good. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. Press up tabletop or plank. And come back to downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths in downward facing dog. Last inhale. Complete the exhale. And then look toward the hands. Step or float to the front of your mat. And forward fold as we exhale. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain. Exhale for this first one, cactus the arms. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Extra breath here for our first salutation. Monkey inhale and forward fold, exhale. Plant the hands, inhale, step back to plank pose. Exhale, first chaturanga, shift forward, come halfway down, hover here, turn over on the toes, and then upward facing dog, inhale, and back to downward facing dog, exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Look toward the hands. Step or float to the front of the mat. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Come all the way back down with a flat back. Halfway lift, inhale. And this time, exhale, chaturanga. You can step or float back to plank. You can lower halfway or all the way down. You can take cobra or up dog. And then we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. 1 breath. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, step or float forward. Exhale, forward fold. Rise high, tall mountain, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Monkey inhale. And exhale, chaturanga. Up dog inhale. Down dog exhale. 1 breath. And of course, follow the rhythm of the breath. Make the breath match the movement. Come forward, inhale. And the movement match the breath. Exhale, forward fold. Tall mountain inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Monkey inhale. Chaturanga exhale. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. One breath and one more time through. Complete the exhale. Step or float forward. Release, forward fold. Tall mountain, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Monkey, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. 2 more breaths. So walk the feet about a foot forward so your heels will be where your toes are. And then we're going to take the right hand and reach toward, or the left hand and reach toward the right ankle. Start to pull your left elbow to the left and then twist through the spine, looking out underneath the right arm. So deep twist here. Stay active in the legs. Come back to downward facing dog. Switch it out. Right hand reaches toward left ankle. Now pull the right elbow to the right. Look to the left. Spiral through the spine. Chest opens to the side wall. And then come back. From here, lift the right leg high in this shortened down dog. So we're in 3-legged dog variation. All 5 toes point toward the floor. Look back toward your left foot and then start to reach that left hand toward the left ankle. A little challenge here with our balance. Takes a lot of strength in that right arm, so press into the palm of the right hand. And release. That's not easy. All right, left leg reaches up, so we're in a 3-legged dog variation. 5 toes point down, look towards your right foot, and then reach that right hand around the right ankle. Just watch all the muscles in your foot and ankle, making all the little changes that it needs to make that balance happen. All the little adjustments. And then come back to downward facing dog. Walk your feet back to a full down dog. On the inhale, lift the heels high. Exhale, knees come to hover. Inhale, look forward, come to plank pose. Now exhale, chaturanga, pause here. Press it back up, plank. Back to down dog. Now walk your hands to meet your feet at the back of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the hands back all the way to plank pose. Chaturanga, pause, hold halfway down, press it back up. See if you can keep your torso neutral. Down dog, walk the hands back to meet the feet. Last time through, halfway, lift, monkey pose, forward fold, exhale. Walk your hands forward all the way to plank. Lower halfway down, pause, press it back up, plank, down dog. Inhale the right leg high, open the hip, bend the leg, let the foot release toward the floor and the knee reach toward the ceiling, draw right shoulder in line with left. Straighten out the legs, square off the hips, knee to nose, and then step through low lunge. Keep the left hand on the floor, sweep that right arm up. Look toward the right fingertips. And release the right hand back down toward the floor. Standing splits, inhale, step onto the right foot, lift the left leg high. Let the head release toward the floor and look back toward the back of the mat. All 5 toes pointing straight down. Maybe one or both hands comes to the ankle. Take one more inhale, lift that left leg a little bit higher, and then exhale, step back to low lunge. Nice slow descent. Inhale, rise up to crescent lunge. Pause here, sink right into that front knee. Yeah, good. As we draw the tailbone down, start to lengthen through that back leg. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, warrior two. Back heel comes down toward the floor. Right knee opens toward right pinky toe. Shoulders away from the ears. Soft gaze across the front fingertips. On the next inhale, come up to 5-pointed star. Toes out, heels in, palms face out, active through the fingertips. Exhale, hands to heart, prayer squat, sink down. Draw the tailbone down, draw the knees open. Hold here. Two more breaths. Last inhale. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Building heat in the legs. Hands to the knees, thumbs face in. Exhale, left shoulder in, look to the right. Then use those hands to press the knees a little bit further open. Come back to center. Exhale, right shoulder in, look to the left. Another little shoulder stretch here. Come back to center. Draw the hands back to the heart. Stay low in your squat. Inhale, 5-pointed star, rise up. Exhale, warrior two. And then our inhale is gonna be warrior one. So left arm is gonna meet the right. Both arms come forward. And if we need to shorten the stance to square the hips, feel free to do that. Press into the outer edge of the back foot. Good, square hips and shoulders, sink low. Inhale. Exhale, hands behind the tailbone. Interlace fingers for yoga mudra. Press the fists down, lift the chest. And then humble warrior. Right shoulder comes to the inside of the right knee. Fists come up and over the back of the head. Even if they're resting on the tailbone, that's perfectly fine. Just start to press the palms of the hands together and then find a little lift. Last breath. Keep that back leg nice and tight. Kneecap lifting. Good, and then we're just gonna release the hands and come into low lunge. So the back heel will lift off the floor. Left hand is gonna be our foundation. Side plank, take that right foot and step it back to meet the left. Right arm reaches up. Again, stagger the feet, stack the feet, take right foot to the floor or left knee to the floor. All of those are great modifications for side plank. Vashisthasana. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, chaturanga. So roll forward, lower down. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. We'll take the other side and then we'll take a little break. So inhale that left leg high, open the hip, bend the leg, hold here. Left toes come toward the floor, left knee lifts toward the ceiling. Left shoulder draws back in line with the right shoulder. Straighten out the legs, square off the hips, knee to nose. See if you can make contact and then step it through, low lunge. Take twisting lunge, right hand's your foundation, left arm lifts. Maybe we take the gaze toward the left fingertips. Draw inner thighs toward one another, even though they're not touching. So you're really active through that right back knee, lifting up toward the ceiling and then release. Step forward for standing splits. Right leg lifts. Look back toward the back of the mat. All 5 toes pointing straight down. Right hip stays in line with the left hip. Start to use the hamstring on the right leg to lift the leg higher. Maybe one or both hands comes to the left ankle. And then very lightly step back into low lunge and rise on up to crescent lunge. Both arms lift off the floor. Good, back heel is off the floor. Sink low into that front leg. Good, and then start to straighten through the back leg. Nice active fingers and strong straight arms. Take one more inhale. And exhale, warrior two. Back heel releases to the floor. Get nice and low in that front leg. Shoulders and hips open to the side. Gaze comes across the front fingertips. Press into the outer edge of that back foot and toes point in. in. There you go, good. All right. Inhale, come up to five-pointed star. Exhale, prayer squat. Inhale, right back to five-pointed star. Exhale, warrior two to the front of the mat. And then inhale, warrior one, right arm meets the left. We square the hips and shoulders. If we need to shorten the stance, that's totally fine. Draw that left hip back, right hip forward. Shoulders squared to the front of the mat. Arms extended straight overhead. Get as low as we can in that front leg. Not as easy in warrior one as in warrior two. And then take the hands behind the back. Yoga mudra, interlace the fingers. Press the fists down, lift the chest, maybe lift the gaze. And then left shoulder comes to the inside of the left knee for humble warrior. Now draw that left knee toward the left shoulder. Press the palms of the hands towards one another. Press into the outer edge of the back foot so much that you can see the arch lifting off the floor. And we'll just release the hands to the floor, lift the back heel so we're back into low lunge. Side plank on the other side, right hand's your foundation. Step that left foot back to meet the right. Left foot is either stacked on top of the right foot or staggered with the right foot. Or you can take sole of the left foot or right knee to the floor. Last inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. And make your way down onto your knees, cross your ankles, come to a seat, grab a drink. Okay, so we are going to work core and arms at the same time. We're going to start in reverse tabletop position. So bring the legs out in front, feet are at hip distance apart. Hands come right underneath the shoulders. Fingers are spread wide like we're doing a down dog. Fingertips face the heels. Press into the bottoms of your feet and start to lift the hips, bringing the torso parallel to the mat, to the floor. So make any adjustments we need to so that we have the alignment in the joints. So knees are over ankles, wrists are right underneath shoulders. Then once we get into that position, start to lift the hips a little bit higher, lift the chest up, head stays in line with the spine, roll the shoulders open so we feel a nice stretch through our chest, our collarbones, our shoulders. If there's no discomfort in the neck, just gently release the head back just for another breath. All right, and for our core strengthening, we're gonna draw the hips between the hands to hover. Might need to separate the hands a little bit more. Good, yep. See if you can even pull it back even more, your hips back, back, back. Good, and then come back to reverse tabletop. And again. Hips come to hover, toes flex back. Good. Reverse tabletop. And again, hips come between the hands. Last time, lift up into reverse tabletop. Bring the hips between the hands. Good, and release. Bring feet in line with hips, toes flexed back, lift the arms up overhead, and forward fold. Paschimottanasana, reaching the chest toward the toes, staying active in the legs, elbows stay in, spine stays long. One more breath. All right. Come back up. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. And this time we're gonna keep the legs long, okay? So lift the hips up off the floor. And now we press the toes toward the floor. We want one nice long line. And then we can take the head in line with the spine, gaze up at the ceiling. Be really active. Start with your finger pads pressing into the mat, lifting out of the forearms, nice and strong through the triceps. Good. And release. Excellent. Okay, bend the legs, come all the way down onto the back. We'll do just a little bit more core strengthening here. So roll down, one vertebra at a time. All right, so bring the hands behind the head and release fingers, and bring the feet up toward the ceiling. See if you can stamp the ceiling with your feet. Nice and flexed and active toes. And then we're gonna lift the chest up off the floor, but keep the elbows wide and keep the chest lifting toward the toes instead of chin toward the chest. Now keep your shoulder blades lifted off the mat and slowly lower the feet toward the floor. Bring them to hover, keep those shoulder blades lifted, and then all the way back up. Good, and just two more, so lower. Lift. Keep lifted in the chest. We're using our whole length of our core. Good. Lift. Pull the knees into the chest. Release the head to the floor. A little rock on the spine. And come up to Navasana, boat pose. Legs bent or straight. Arms extended, palms face up, lift through the chest. Good. And now that our core is nice and warm, cross the ankles, come back to plank. This is going to be our 1 minute hold. So really commit to the pose. Find proper alignment in plank pose. And once again, steady the breath. Find the Ujjayi breath, foundation of our practice here. And even when we start to feel tension in the body, keep that face nice and soft. Forehead is relaxed, jaws relaxed. Even your gaze is soft. Halfway there, recommit. Strong arms, strong core. Maybe even close your eyes for the last 7 seconds. Good, and press back to downward facing dog. Take a big open mouth exhale, let go of any tension, any heat. All right, so let's flow. Inhale the right leg high, step through to low lunge. Rise up, crescent lunge, inhale. Breath to movement here, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, prayer squat, sink down. 5-pointed star, inhale. Warrior two, exhale. Reverse warrior, inhale. Extended side angle, exhale. Inhale, come back to reverse triangle, straighten through the front leg. And then exhale, find triangle pose, half-moon pose. So step onto the right foot, stack the hips, stack the shoulders. Balance here for 3, 2, 1. Now lightly step into prayer squat. Inhale, 5-pointed star. And then exhale, standing straddle splits. Heels behind toes, come down with a flat back. Release head and neck when we get to our full forward fold. And then we're working toward an arm balance at the end of class called Titibhasana, little knot. So just do a little prep for that. Start to walk the hands back through the middle of the legs And see if you can get your fingertips as far back as the heels. And once again, tighten up through the legs. Head and neck are relaxed. Walk those hands a little bit further. Good, and then come back, hands underneath shoulders, and heel toe your feet in about 2 times. Bend your legs, and then take that right arm underneath the right thigh. Reach it up so it's pressing onto your hip, and then take that left hand, reach around for the bind. And then once we have the bind, start to straighten through the legs. It's okay if the legs don't come straight. Just want this nice stretch in the shoulders as well as the hamstrings. Okay, and relax the legs, release the arms. Take that left arm underneath left thigh and then reach it up so it's pressing onto your left hip. And then right hand comes up and over, maybe for the bind, maybe for a half bind. And then if we can, we start to straighten through the legs. Okay, and release. Inhale, rise up to 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, left hand to the inside of the left or the right foot. Right arm reaches all the way up. Step it back, side plank. And then option this time to lift that right leg off of the left, press through the ball of the right foot, and then without touching down, see if you can take that right foot and bring it up to meet your left hand. Nice, good move. Step back plank, lower chaturanga, up dog, inhale, down dog, exhale, right to the other side, inhale, left leg high, low lunge, exhale, rise up, crescent lunge, inhale, exhale, warrior 2, inhale, 5-pointed star, exhale, prayer squat, inhale, 5-pointed star, exhale, warrior 2, inhale, reverse warrior, exhale, extended side angle, inhale, reverse triangle, straighten through that left leg, and exhale, half moon pose. Step onto that left foot, float the right foot off the floor, stack shoulders and hips. Right toes stay flexed back toward the face. Maybe take the gaze toward the ceiling. Good. And then lightly step back into prayer squat. With control. Inhale, 5-pointed. And this time exhale right back to warrior 2. Reverse warrior. And then we take the right hand to the inside of the left foot. The left arm spirals up and we step that left foot back for Vashisthasana. Option here to lift that left leg nice and high. Hold here. And without dragging it, see if you can place it next to your right hand for low lunge. Step back plank. Lower chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. And then come down onto the knees. Place the forearms on the floor. Bring forearms parallel to one another. So they're in line with the elbows, in line with the shoulders. Step back for forearm plank. Lift up out of your shoulder. Keep your head in line with your spine. And then tailbone is level. So we're not dipping the hips or raising them too high. We're nice and level like we're doing plank pose, just on our forearms. And then from here, we'll come into dolphin. So lift the hips high. Maybe walk the feet in just a step or two. Draw the head between the arms. Nice stretch for your upper back. All right, and then from here, shift forward, forearm plank. Hips high, dolphin. Forearm plank. Dolphin. And forearm plank. Last time, dolphin. Take the knees to the floor, hips to the heels. Child's pose, stretch your arms. Come all the way up. We're gonna do a nice strengthener for the arms and an inversion. So we're gonna do reverse L handstand and L handstand against the wall. So you can just take your mat there, take your mat there. All right, so first for reverse L handstand, we're gonna you can either kind of mark it with your eyes or you can sit down. You're gonna wanna stand the length of your legs. So wherever against the wall your heel extends to, that's where you're gonna wanna stand. So you'll just stand up, turn around, your toes will come in place of your heels. And if this isn't a perfect position, we can make adjustments. Okay, so from here, you can peek at me and watch if you want. We're gonna basically come with our feet planted firmly to the wall. Your hands will be at shoulder distance apart, and then we're just gonna walk the hands down so that the torso comes parallel to the floor. So it looks like I need to walk my feet in about a foot, so we have alignment with our shoulders over our ankles and our wrists in line with our shoulders. And then wherever you are, working toward that nice flat back, so walk your feet in, good. And then lift your hands up. Spread those hands. Good, alignment looks really nice. And just press into the hands against the wall like you're pressing the wall away. So we're gonna be in this exact same position but upside down in just a moment here. So kind of mark it in your body so that you really feel the alignment. Okay, and so to release, just bend those elbows a little bit and press away from the wall and come to a stand. Without moving your feet now, just turn around. Keep your feet in the same position on your mat. This alignment should be nice when you get into it. And then we're gonna come into a forward fold. We'll plant our hands where our feet are, walk our feet back to the wall, and then we're gonna walk the feet. My recommendation, because it's easiest for me, may not be for you, you can do something else, is to walk your feet higher and then walk your feet down. I need to walk my hands out a little bit. So then the legs eventually are parallel with the mat. So huge arm strengthening posture. So you really want to press against the feet. Nice, Jana, looks really good. Yeah, your feet could come up maybe a smidgen, but that's about it. That's perfect, really nice. Yeah, your mat's slippery here. Bring your hands a little bit further back. Good. And just hold it for another 2 breaths. And then you'll just come out of it by walking or sliding the feet down the wall. And then just hang in ragdoll. There's a lot of strength building going on in the shoulders, upper back. You might feel it in your neck, so you just want to let everything dangle. Good, and release. And just move your mat back away from the wall. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. All right, so we'll do one more standing series, moving into a few balance postures. So reconnect to your Ujjayi breath. One more. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. All right, inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step through low lunge. Rise up, crescent lunge. And this time we'll take the hands right behind the back. Find yoga mudra. Inhale, puff the chest. And then we're gonna take warrior 3 with chest expansion. So come forward, lift that left leg off the floor. And then if the chest is sagging, lift it, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Nice strong standing leg. One more breath, Virabhadrasana 3. And then come through to standing staff. So we'll release the hands on the way. Left leg will come forward, bent or straight, hold here. And then we're gonna cross that left leg over the right, coming into eagle. So left leg over right, left arm underneath right. Bring the palms of the hands towards one another. Sink low into the chair. Stack the shoulders right over the hips. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Last breath. And then release is going to be standing pigeon. So we'll just take that left ankle, bring it over the right knee, unwind the arms, bring them to heart center. Sink low again. And then for the twist, optional, take that right hand to the left heel and then start to twist toward the foot. Left elbow hooking onto the sole of the foot. Hands connecting at heart center. Good. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale here. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Maybe come all the way to a seat. Lift the legs. Boat pose. Good. And then cross over the ankles. Plant the hands. Maybe step or hop back through chaturanga, optional. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Let's take that on the other side. So take the left leg high. Low lunge, step through. Rise up, crescent lunge, inhale. And then find yoga mudra behind the back. Puff the chest, lower the hands. Virabhadrasana 3. Step onto the left leg. Bring that right leg parallel to the mat. And then if the chest is sagging, lift. Squeeze the palms of the hands towards one another. Last breath. Eagle or staff first. Come through, extend that right leg. Hold here. And then find eagle. Right leg over left, right arm underneath left. Work toward the wrap. Sink low. Stack the shoulders right over the hips. Squeeze the elbows down and in, getting a nice stretch in the shoulders. And then our release is standing pigeon. Cross that right ankle over the left knee, unwind the hands. The arms, draw the hands to heart center, sink low again. And then for the twist, we take that left hand to the right heel, right elbow to sole of right foot. Connect the palms of the hands, twist to the left. Good. Release to chair, right foot meets the left, arms extend up, inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Make your way slowly to a seat. Lift your legs. Good, nice control. For 3, 2, 1. Good, come to a seat. All right, so our peak pose today is an arm balance called Titibhasana, little knot. Done a little bit of prep to get our bodies ready. We're gonna take one more preparatory posture. We're going to take seated straddle splits. So you can come sideways on your mat if you want, bring the legs long. And then take those knees, point them straight up to the ceiling. Toes, point them straight up to the ceiling. Hands behind the hips. Lift through the chest, find a nice tall spine. And then if the spine can stay lifted and long, we can walk the hands forward. As soon as we begin to round, back off the fold a little bit. Just slowly walk the hands forward. Keep the chest lifted. Keep the legs engaged. Last breath. Make your way out of the fold, wherever you are. Draw the knees in, and then face the front of your mat. Okay, so go ahead and cross over the ankles and come onto the shins. I'm gonna bring the hands next to the knees. We're just gonna rock back, lift the knees off the floor, a little stretch for your ankles. Good, oh my, and a little pop of the toes. And then rock forward, lift the heels off the floor, press the feet off the floor, press the heels toward the glutes. Good, and then come back, and then see if you can lift everything off the floor, hold here. Good. Takes a ton of strength, but not as much flexibility for the next posture we're gonna do, okay? So one more preparatory pose. So we're gonna take Lolasana, pendant pose. Let's go ahead and come and cross the ankles out in front of us, bring the hands by the hips, and once again, lift the heels off the floor, pause here. Place the heels on the floor, lift the hips off the floor, pause here. Good. And then lift the heels, maybe lift the hips at the same time, pause here. Good. Release. I don't think I was breathing, so don't forget to breathe. All right. Now, come into a shortened straddle at the front of your mat. So feet will maybe be about mat distance apart. It's going to be a little different for everyone. And then just go ahead and dangle over the legs. Let the head be heavy. One more breath here. Start to walk the hands back between the legs, fingertips coming toward the heels, just like we did earlier in class. Okay, now the key is, and you can peek at me if you need to, the key here is that you walk your hands so far back that the palms of your hands are not going to be on the floor. And then it takes a little bit of courage. We bend the knees deeply, and then we sit back, lower the palms of the hands to the floor at the same time. Good, so we rest the legs on the arms. And then from here, we take the ankles and cross them in front of us. You got it, you got it. Good, awesome, awesome. Yes, 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 awesome. Yeah, so those three variations, the first one we did is actually probably the most challenging in our core, but takes the least amount of flexibility. And then this posture, Titibhasana, in my opinion, but you may disagree, takes the least amount of strength, takes strength, don't get me wrong, but a little more flexibility to get those hips open and ankles crossed. Good, yeah. But if you can get that nice shelf, that's why you want to bring your hands so far back. You want chaturanga arms, that nice shelf, then you can pretty much rest your weight on the backs of your arms. Okay. Yeah, so I'm coming back, getting all my weight here. So now that I'm secure with my legs, then I can start to bring my ankles and cross them. But really now I'm just kind of hanging out, resting the weight of the legs on the arms versus holding the weight of the legs with the core. Now it does take core stability and it does take strength and arm strength. Good, yeah. And it takes a lot of courage too to get those hands way back. Good, good. So the higher you can get the legs on the backs of your arms, the more stable you're gonna be. Titibhasana, little nut. All right, so let's go ahead and come back into downward facing dog. Just pedal out the feet. Once again, let the head dangle. Rock the hips side to side. This is our last little push of arm strengthening here. So lift your heels high, bring your knees to the floor to hover over the floor, about an inch away from the floor. Come forward to plank pose, and then from plank pose, we're gonna come right forearm down, left forearm down, right hand back to plank, left hand back to plank. Left forearm down, right forearm down, left hand plank, right hand plank. One more on each side, so right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right. Good. Now, bring your knees down. Bring your hips right over your knees. And then we're gonna take puppy pose. So we're gonna walk the hands forward and out. Wider than mat distance apart. And then we press the chest down, forehead to the mat. Really big stretch for the shoulders and the chest. Arms are nice and active. Last breath. And start to walk the hands back up underneath the shoulders, cross over the ankles, and let's come down onto our backs. Nice roll down, one vertebra at a time. All right. So we're gonna take 2 sets of bridger wheels, so bring the heels in toward the hips. We'll take bridge first, lift the hips off the floor. Nice opportunity for chest expansion if you'd like to take that, since we've been opening the shoulders and the chest throughout class. Take 3 more breaths. Last inhale. Exhale, lower down. Just let the knees fall toward one another. And then second set, you can take bridge again, or you can take wheel. For wheel, bring the heels in, flip the hands so the fingers point toward the heels. Lift the hips off the floor and then press up onto the crown of the head, nice and gentle. And then start to press those arms straight. So take some arm strength to get up there. Work toward keeping the knees in line with the heels, in line with the hips. When you're ready, slowly release. Onto the crown of the head first, then roll down onto the back. And let the knees rest toward one another. And we'll take a hip stretch. So bring your knees back in line with the hips and take that left ankle, cross it over the right knee. Lift your right leg off the floor. Reclined pigeon pose. Hands can either come around the thigh or they can come around the shin. Pull the right knee in and press the left knee open toward the front of the mat. Toes are active. Release the right foot back to the floor. Keep that right foot on the floor and extend the left leg up toward the ceiling. Little hamstring stretch. Walk the hands up the back of the leg. Maybe flex and point that foot. Maybe take it around in circles. And then last breath, maybe pull that leg a little bit closer to the face. And then release the left foot to meet the right. And then we'll twist to the right. So arms extend to goalpost or T, knees fall to the right. You can have your knees stacked, you can have them staggered, you can rest the right foot on top of the left knee. And come back to center. Let's switch it out. So crossing the right ankle over the left knee, lift the left leg off the floor, and release fingers around the thigh or the shin. And then toes are active toward the knees. Press that right knee toward the front of the mat. Pull the left knee toward the chest. And release the left leg back to the floor. Extend that right leg straight up toward the ceiling, hands around the back of the leg, and start to walk the hands up the back of the leg. You can flex and point the right foot. You can take that foot around in circles. Last breath, we maybe pull that right leg a little bit closer toward our face. And then release. Right foot meets left, knees fall to the left. You can have them stacked or staggered, arms in goalpost or T. Look in the opposite direction of the knees. Draw the knees back to center and pull them into the chest. And take some circles of the knees. You can take happy baby if you like. And just any final movements before Shavasana. This is the time to take them. When you're ready, make your way towards Shavasana. Extend the legs long, toes fall open, arms rest alongside the body, palms face up. Just tuck those shoulder blades underneath. And then just take a little scan of the body, starting with the toes, releasing any tension in the feet and the legs. The hips be soft. Soften through the belly. Let the breath start to come back to its natural rhythm. Fingers are loose. Shoulders roll toward the mat. Nice long neck. Then just bring your awareness to your jaw. The jaw soften, moving your way up past your cheeks, to your nose, to your forehead. Let the space above and between the eyes be soft. And just completely relax here. To awaken the body by wiggling the fingers and the toes, rolling the wrists and the ankles. And working the arms overhead for a big stretch. Fingertips to toes, nice deep breath in. And then rolling onto the side, hugging the knees toward the chest, cradling the head and the arm. Take this final moment here to acknowledge your practice. Set an intention for your day. And then slowly come up to a seat. Find a nice tall spine. Bring hands to the heart. Take one final breath together. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Hold it at the top and release it slowly through the mouth. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.